Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast. We saw the opening sequence. You can hear Brian talking a little bit about the Demo Derby Life magazine, which was featured as part of the action at the Otsego County Fairgrounds, Morris, New York, home of the Mini Meltdown this year. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, episode number 321. That was a bad twist right there. Episode number 321 on deck. Excited to have you along for the ride this evening. Good evening to everybody that is checking in on the live chat. You're making a reference there to Lexi Droz's magazine. I saw all sorts of pictures coming in from the course of the weekend. The one that caught my attention most, which you referred to, was in the magazine, was that mid-60s Ford Falcon, Fairlane, maybe Mercury Comet, something like that. Frankie Guide shared the picture of the teal car with the rear end had been shoved.
That was a 65 Mustang.
It was a Mustang. Okay, I didn't recognize it at all.
Yeah, I believe it was 65.
But sure enough, it didn't look good.
No, it took a couple pretty good shots to the rear end from the way it appears. It was not in a happy spot on Sunday when I saw it sitting on the back of the rollback it was on.
No, I saw some of those pictures that were, there it is. Wayne Sabin's checking in. It was a Mustang. I wasn't for sure what it was. In my mind, I just kind of gravitated towards the mid-60s Fords that we've seen run around here versus the one time that we saw a mid-60s Mustang run when we were out in Topeka, Blizzard Bash.
This one wasn't quite built like that.
It wasn't nearly the same. No, but nonetheless, it was passable. We've got Tim Clark waiting in the wings. We're going to be talking with Tim about that. We apologize for missing last week. We apologize to everybody who was tuning in expecting it, and we also apologize to the people that kind of pay us to be on the air. Got sidetracked a little bit. It was quite the adventure. I had talked to Josh, and we traded some ideas about some stuff that was upcoming for some of his projects, and then I was mowing the lawn on Saturday. And I have a push mower and a very small plot. And Warden Construction has begun putting new siding on the house today. So that was fun. We're looking forward to that. Yeah. Remember when we were in Topeka back in 2017 and we talked about that?
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but you're paying the bill, so you go ahead and say whatever you want, bud.
We have moved forward with that decision, and I'm excited to get the new siding on the house. But in an effort to prepare for that, I didn't need them walking through the hedgerow that should be a lawn. And I mowed over. I saw the Yellow Jackets in front of me, and I mowed over near where they were, up to what I felt was a safe distance, and then I heard the rumble, and I realized the nest was behind me in the ground, so I backed up to get out of the way, and most walk-behind mowers, as you know, have that rubber, I call it a striper. I don't really know what it's there for, but a rubber striper, and that, as I backed up, had rolled up underneath the mower, which changed how the back end sat on the ground, and it high-centered in a divot where a friendly woodland creature, most likely a gray squirrel, two of which can go to hell, had high-centered on a spot where the squirrel had dug stuff out, and the mower stopped going backwards, and I continued to, and I landed on my hips, and it shifted my pelvis and the lower part of my spine forward, and the top half of it would be the L1, which is the lumbar spine, stopped, and the thoracic, the T series, 1 through 12, continued to go backwards. That holds your ribs and your shoulders and stuff up. And I ended up landing on my back, and I couldn't work my legs. It hurt tremendously. I was being swarmed by Yellow Jackets. I ended up getting stung like 10 times. I rolled about 10 feet to get out of the way. Went to the doctors a couple days later and found out that I had fractured the L1 vertebrae. It's a 25% compression, so it hurts a lot. We did take last Monday off. I got the doctor's diagnosis after an MRI and everything, so I go to an orthopedic doctor coming up this Friday. I originally hurt my back in like 1996 when I was long jumping, and I've had trouble ever since. hopefully this was the straw that broke the camel's back, if you were, and we're going to be able to figure out what exactly is going on and get it remedied. But if it is a compression fracture from way back then, my worry is that the vertebrae that was fractured has now healed itself and filled back in with calcium and bone material. So we're going to leave it in the hands of the experts at this point.
I had a few questions about what had happened, and I said, just some stuff, and HIPAA and all. I didn't want to release too much information. But surprise! That's why we weren't on, because Chris broke his back last week.
Needless to say, I didn't go to any derbies this weekend.
No. Chris didn't do any real fun activities.
It was
laying on the floor and probably watching some television, I'm guessing.
I had to lay on a couch. Even laying on the floor hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think that the more I've never broken my back, but from what I've heard from other people, laying on, they've had better luck laying on hard floors for whatever reason.
Back in the 90s when I did it, yes, that helped. But this one, nothing hurts. Mostly because nerves now.
You're not 15 anymore?
Oh, that's a big part of it, yeah. All the nerves and everything around my torso got crushed in that, and also the muscles that got pulled and stretched out and everything. So anybody who's not taking my polite, I don't really want to get in a derby car conversation. Now, I'm not getting in a derby car, period. I've now broke my back twice. I've had 11 concussions. I don't need to do it. I'm at the end of discussion.
Listen, but this is what we can do, okay? We'll get one of those, like, old school 1976 kidney belt things that dirt bike motocross used to wear. We'll wrap that around your midsection, pull it tight enough to where you can almost breathe, and then we'll put a 4 or 5 point harness on you. We can do a 5 if you want. That'll keep you from submarining, and then put you in a Blizzard Bash weld car and let you go, man. I mean, what more could really happen? If we're getting it out there, what more could really happen?
No, what more? I'm content with where I'm at right now. I'm content with being able to walk right now.
Oh boy.
Man, trying to like if I turn over in bed, like today I was just kind of relaxed and everything. My kids were outside playing with some of the neighbor kids that they know that they go to my aunt's house for daycare type stuff here in the summer, and Kelsey came running up the driveway. I need help, and I jumped up off the couch and I immediately
didn't even think about it.
Right now, bam! And I got up and kind of spun my wheels getting to the door, and I said, "What is happening out here?" She goes, "Oh, I got to throw this bag of dog poop away that we just picked out of the road." And there's like 3 other kids. I don't even know who they are. With this scruffy-looking dog that they're walking up and down the street, and the dog's got this big cone on his head. And I'm like, I'm not asking questions. Go have fun.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's sometimes kids do the darndest things.
Oh, my goodness. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Scott Brown's lookalike, by the way. There's a cook named Bo on the Guys Grocery Games and periodically on Chopped. Bo McBride, I think, was his name, and it looks just like Scott Brown.
Really?
So maybe that's why Scott Brown doesn't work at the paint store anymore. He's actually moonlighting on Food Network. But
that could be it.
Because I've got nothing but time on my hands anymore. I can't sit up. It's definitely uncomfortable. But nonetheless, we are here for episode number 321. Brian made the trip out to Mini Meltdown.
Yep.
Had the chance to compete. Has a car that will be able to run again, unfortunately.
Yeah, we
which is not typical for you.
No, we had experienced some mechanical gremlins. Didn't go as I hoped. Back was folding up the way I wanted it to. Nose is still straight. We actually Chuck Bucknam was there, and
I saw Leary got a Mad Dog.
Yeah, Chuck was there and ran the same heat as I. And in the front of the line there was 2 brothers, and in the back of the line there was 3 cars that had come together, including 2 of the cleanest Cadillacs that have probably ever ran at Morris. One only had 18,000 miles on it before it was tore apart. So Chuck and I were running together, and he had an 80s Buick with us. I think he runs red lines, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he with that screaming red line. And we went to the end. They pulled the cars off and kind of stayed down there and bumping and banging and keeping busy. And it seemed kind of fast paced. And then I had my gremlins and I ended up stuck. And all of a sudden I looked up and there was like 3 cars left. And legit, like if you watch it on film, literally like 3 minutes after I'm done, it's down to 2 cars or 3 cars. And I'm just like, what the heck? Weird how it happened. But yeah, we went out. It was great. It was a fun day from beginning to end. Zach went with me, and Dan O'Connell and Kristen O'Connell went. That was my crew. And it was just nice to get out and talk to somebody else. I mean, it's a 2.5 hour. I think 2.5 for us to get to Morris and just shoot the bull and joke and laugh and talk about politics and what we think's going on. And it was just like Jeremy Gully said in his interview, or when he was they were making the announcement they were still going to have it. It was just nice to kind of get back to normal and have fun for a day. I got a huge great job to the drivers. Sunday I didn't see any of Saturday's program, but Jeremy said Saturdays was fast paced as well in the drivers meeting. Guys were just driving.
Everything I saw lived up to everything Morris has always been.
I mean, there was a hit Sunday. Somebody was backing up in a compact and got hit nose to tail, and it lifted the front end of the compact up.
Do the airplane part where you showed me.
Up like this?
Yeah,
like this. Yeah. It was amazing. Everybody did an awesome job driving, just destroying stuff. I hope I don't get it wrong. Farm trucks ran second, so it was a bunch of like full size trucks, and I think there was a couple Durangos, some other stuff, and a minivan won it, which you wouldn't expect.
Why? Why do you say you wouldn't expect it?
Because minivans, I think, are tough against other minivans and some smaller stuff, but you get against the full size trucks.
I disagree.
But the guy kept his nose clean, and it was tough. Yeah, I honestly, when I was sitting there watching the vans run, I thought, you know what? The minivan is the 90s and 2000s answer to the station wagon. And that's what I told my son. Because you think about a Chevy wagon, which is has always been all the rage, really. But you can.
Yeah, those never did fall out of style.
Yeah, you could beat the back end off them, and as long as you keep the rails straight, it's just body. But with a front wheel drive vehicle, I mean, you can literally knock that thing off to where it's just dragging around the front seats in the driver's compartment, and it would keep going. So it was really cool to watch. I gotta say that Spinning Wheels has definitely. They've made it, and I know this because Alex Vesco of All For Him Racing was there filming. Alex actually came over and introduced himself after and I saw him. I told Zach and Dan and Chris, I said, I got to go over and introduce myself. I said, we've talked a little bit, commented back and forth on Facebook and stuff, but I'd never had a chance to talk to him, and I was really hoping I could walk up on stage and get a cool check, but that didn't happen. So he came over and introduced himself, and we talked for a minute. But it was cool to see him there because he does great work, and it'll be nice to see his stuff on YouTube.
Saturday's stuff's already up. Sunday's coming.
Cool, very cool. So all around great day.
How's his extra mouth?
He had the thing on when he was talking to me.
They're called masks.
Yeah, I didn't really see, but which is probably a good thing because I don't know, maybe I might be getting soft in my old age, but.
You can say the word; it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. And again, I told Jeremy, after the Derby, he was busy, inspecting. Also, real quick, Jeremy lost his mom last week.
Yes, he did.
He made a post. I'd sent him a thing, and he answered back, and I didn't know what was going on, and then I saw. So, Jeremy had a really rough week to have that happen, and then to still put on a Derby of that caliber. And I thank Jeremy for everything, but I mean, really, everybody should really be thankful for Jeremy. He had to put up go through a lot of crap to get that show put on. So hats off to him and all the stuff he did. But all in all, just a great day. Great weather. People were sitting in the places they were supposed to sit. Jeremy overcame the towing issues. He had a bunch of skidsters there, and they would pull vehicles off, and as fast as they could get them off, they were towing them away with a couple wreckers. I think he said, I can't remember the company that was there, but they were from Copenhagen, New York. So they came down and helped out. So just all in all, a great day. And like you said, Saturdays appeared to have gone as well as Sunday. So.
Josh Buell summed it up perfect with a post that he put on Facebook today. Is that they put New York on the map. You know what I mean? They let everybody know what that part of the state was all about, and they were fortunate enough to have Track Shot there with Skinny and Tix and everybody with Track Shot TV. Track Shot TV was the one that was there. They rolled out their new website at Morris. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, great show. Jeremy also picked up a show at Bethel Motor Speedway, which I thought was in not Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, but he said it is in New York. That is...
I think if you sneeze in the front stretch, you'll make it to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, I always thought Bethel was in Pennsylvania, but it's in New York, so that was cool to hear.
Oh, Groff Towing. Jeff Shulman and Duncan Cram both.
Okay, Groff Towing.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, they had two beautiful trucks, too. They had some real nice equipment. Got to talk to Jeffy for a little bit.
Yeah.
We started talking, and he got swarmed by customers. I said, Jeffy, I'll catch up with you, bud. Which was good to see. Mike Klinger was there running a skidster. So that was cool. Well,
They let him enter a skid steer?
Yeah. What's that?
They let him enter a skid steer?
Yeah. Well, they figured, it's maybe somehow they'd beat him. I don't know. But he was there loading cars with a skidster. I got to talk to him for a minute before. Told him, how nice a job I thought he did. When him and Don Santel were battling. So it was cool. I don't think for where I was sitting and driving, I couldn't have seen how things could have went much better.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Did everybody play by the rules? No fans, and they kept everything pretty much under control?
Yes. There was, like I
and I'll tell you what, not for political reasons.
Yeah.
Because I don't want things to get messed up for Spinning Wheels.
Yeah.
If they didn't play right, then things were going to go way downhill for the rest of the year. And there's too many big things still to come for Spinning Wheels.
As far as I could tell, everybody was social distancing. People were sitting in the groups they came with. They did an excellent job of putting the tape up on
what were those things? Everybody had those. What would you call them?
Masks.
Yeah, them.
I didn't see a lot of masks, but I don't know rules. Like
because it's an outdoor gathering, it's a little bit of a different deal when you're into yourselves too.
That's what I thought too, is because you were sitting with the groups you were in, so I don't think technically you needed them.
Duncan Cram said you're still a bagger.
That's cool. I think everything. Like I said, I've talked to Jeremy a little bit today, but he was at work, so I tried not to bug him too much. Hard to believe though we got done early, so we might have actually got some sleep before we had to go to work this morning. But we were home unloading the car at my dad's house at like 8 o'clock, and that was after Dan and Kristen stopped and got ice cream, bringing the car out. So, all in all, I don't think it could have really went much better.
Awesome.
Hopefully, unfortunately, Cuomo extended the ban on racetracks. So technically, you can't have fans. Jeremy said it's going to be very, very hard to have San Filippo without fans.
Sure.
So, he said give them some time and digest what happened.
If we get a lot of time, because there is some time between then and now, that perhaps we're going to end up okay. But we'll see what happens. Hey, Tim. All right, so we got Tim waiting in the wings. Let's run. Alex Vasco, huge compliment to Spinning Wheels Show. One of the best shows I've filmed, and I filmed a lot.
Yes.
So let's let that be the culmination. We're going to run through some results, and then we're going to get Tim. We're about 18 minutes late on Tim already.
Sorry, Tim.
So Tim's got stuff. We're going to be catching up with Steve Cioppa as well. So, Steve, if you're listening, rest assured we're going to be late to you, too. Economy Compact Heat number 1 on Saturday at the Mini Meltdown. Jarrett Stone won that over Tommy Woodbury III, and Josh Diamond was third in that one, took home Mad Dog honors there. Economy Compact Heat number 2, Brad Hathaway won that one. Evan Barrell? It's a name I haven't seen before. Took second place. Nick Harden was third place in Heat number 2. Joey Hellbent with Mad Dog in Heat number 2. Economy Compact, Craig Bedell. That's a name that we know from out in Western New York. Made the trip in. He got the win in Heat number 3 of the Economy Compacts. Ricky Mazurek and Kevin Chamberlain running out second and third there. Economy V8s, again, this is Saturday. Mike Beers winning there over Rich Desperito and Derek Serra. Larry Bucknam coming home with the Mad Dog Awards in Economy V8. Compact Trucks, Jerry Madsen over Cody Durham and Danny Gill. Jeff Hirsch taking Mad Dog Award there. Jerry Madsen, that's another name that I haven't heard in a little while. Good to see he's still out there doing well. Extreme V8, that's the two-man class. BJ Mills and Brian Parker winning that over Holden Smith and David Smith. Caden Barney and Kyle Barney running to third with Mad Dog Awards there. Bone Stock V8, it was Jeff Snyder over Andrew Cummings and Mark Russell. Mark Russell taking Mad Dog Award in third in East Bone Stock V8 Saturday. Sunday, Economy V8 number 1, Kyle Utter with a win, and Mad Dog sharing it with Jared Skillings, one of the Massachusetts drivers. Freddie White taking home 3rd, so splitting the Mad Dog honors. Kyle Utter and Jared Skillings also picking up 1st and 2nd, respectively. Economy Compact Heat number 2, Mark Schwarm, Dane Dittman, James Dickub running through the top 3. Economy Compact Heat 3, Hunter Iadalisi? I have no idea. Iadalisi winning that one. Brandon Lemaire and John Griffin taking 2nd and 3rd. Economy V8, Austin Smith, Mike Gravelin, and Anthony Williams through the top 3. Mark Gravelin taking home 4th. Compact Truck, Neil Pominville, another name from Blast from the Past. Mark Schwarm and James Dickub running through the top 3. Farm Truck, Mike Ritten over Neil Pominville and Mike Tix taking home 3rd. Mike Ritten and Mike Tix, Derek Root all sharing Mad Dog Awards. And Leftover Heat, Mark Schwarm and Sheldon Woodard in that order. So that is the final pin in the topic of Mini Meltdown.
Still Your Face was represented well.
20. Still Your Face was represented. They got the second day, I think they got Best Appearing Car, or at least Best in Show for the heat that was out there. The Lightning Bolt number 11.
Cars while I was down there Sunday.
Todd Height was the one that painted that car.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rest of the team was helping as well, but he did a gorgeous job on that. You made reference to Jeffy's Fab Farm. We missed him last week. We're going to let everybody know about him one more time this week. Jeffy's Fab Farm, recognized as an industry leader in all manner of fabrication needs. It's a national go-to for a number of demolition derby parts. Jeffy's Fab Farm specializes in Ellis conversion components, but earn major derby cred with their various header offerings. Jeffy's Fab Farm this summer released a solid 4-cylinder Camry engine mount and Hyundai Elantra headers for the 1.8 and 2.0 displacement engines. The store offers bumper-to-bumper selection, including fuel and air parts, suspension and transmission items, steering components, pedal shifters, switches, and gauges. If you need it, find it at the farm, jeffysfabfarm.com. Check out the virtual store and order now. So we are back into the swing of things with some interviews, and boy, last Thursday was an eventful day for one Tim Clark. Tim is on the line with us now. Tim, how are you? I'm sure you've still got all your hair, nothing's turned gray, everything's fine, right?
Yeah, it was great. You know. But I mean, I had to make a major decision, with Blizzard Bash, and we brought that out last week, and but we're moving forward to make it bigger and better.
So what transpired to where you knew for sure you weren't going to be able to have Blizzard Bash in the form as planned in 2020 this year?
Well, it's with the health department, with everything that's going on in the health department, with people being in there inside the building and everything, and I was working with them really close on back and forth of what can happen, what can't happen, and I wasn't getting the numbers that I'd like to hear from. They were saying around 2,500 people to be at Blizzard Bash. And, I mean, Blizzard Bash is probably one of the biggest and the best shows out there in the United States. And, I mean, people come from everywhere. And, how do you say you can only have, say, 2,000 people at the show? So, I mean...
You got to remember, too... let's qualify that and put that into perspective. That 2,500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever the number might be, includes your staff, your flaggers, the arena staff, the drivers, and their crew. So when you start figuring those numbers out, it's not nearly, you're not even going to fill both of the main sections of the little bowl.
700 people in the stands watching it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the thing, especially the Demolition Derby, that, or motorsports in general, people don't take into account. Like Chris just said, I mean, there's probably 200 cars at a normal Blizzard Bash. And I mean, you figure, 5 people a car, there's 1,000 people. I mean, that's, it's crazy how quick that number of total occupancy is drummed down to where when it comes down to actual butts you can put in the seats for, admission.
I think in the teams, you're sitting just a tick under 200.
Yeah.
Because you've got... Go ahead.
Yeah, it's right around 200 cars. 225 cars, I think, was at Blizzard Bash last year. Just in cars itself.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd have 1,000 paid spectators, that would be able to come and watch the show. That's crazy. What does that hold, Tim? I mean, I guess we never... How many does that...
Right now, it holds right at 7,000 people with the new bar, inside. They took a bunch of seats out because they put that bar in on the one side.
And the place is full.
Right
usually.
now it'll hold 7,000.
Crazy.
Yeah, at least
Not counting the bar.
Friday and Saturday's full, and last year the first night it was significant.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
wasn't-
definitely. I
more than
watched
1,000.
Yeah. I watched last year.
Yeah, it was a major call for what I, moving into March. I mean, it was stressful for a while. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I didn't want to keep postponing it and hoping the numbers went up, there. And so, because just so many people travel, it's just not a couple people you got to think about. It's everybody. I mean, you got people from all over the United States and Canada that goes to this thing and books hotels and vacations, and I kind of maybe just wanted to make my mind up and added the two shows together to make it even better.
So what's the new date at this point?
It's the 3rd through the 7th of March.
All right, so we got that. Again, March 3rd through 7th for Blizzard Bash 2.0 or 2021A or Capital City Carnage Blizzard Bash combined. However you want to shake that down. That was another one of the factors that played into that is when you were looking at other dates throughout the course of 2020 to try and find a spot that you could get in, have it work for the arena, and have the cooperation of all the hotels around. You didn't have any choice but to go out a couple months in order to find the cooperation of all the surrounding hotels as well to accommodate everyone.
Exactly. That's the hard thing about was the expo centers. They're just so booked, and there was really not many dates you could even choose from November to March. And I thought there was 1 week that I could have chose, but it was really too close to November, I thought. So that's why I kind of just said, let's just go March and add another 75 cars to Blizzard Bash and see what we can do.
Easy enough.
Because that's what we did. We added three classes from Capital City Carnage to Blizzard Bash 2.0 to make, Blizzard Bash and Capital Carnage together. So we're taking 25 cars at each class, and so that'll be another 75 cars on the ground, 75 trucks and trailers that everybody has to deal with, at Blizzard Bash. It's going to be exciting.
Is Capital City Carnage then sold out at this point, or is there still slots available for those three?
Well, actually, the three classes, the entry started tonight at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so
Nice.
those haven't even opened yet. I understand. I thought that those had already opened.
Yeah, so, I mean, that opens up tonight, and it's probably open by now, and so that'll probably fill up today, and we'll go from there.
I just had somebody pop into the live chat. Justin Dahl said Capital Plaza won't guarantee their rooms from November to March. Is that something that you're working on in the background?
That was the hardest part about the whole ordeal. I mean, I was trying to work with the hotel and everything, and from Blizzard Bash was sold out at the
Right.
plaza, and so when I was talking to him about moving it to March, well, then you have people already made reservations for March.
Right.
So that's like a contract with the hotel is that I was hoping I could just say, okay, can we cancel all them reservations and move Blizzard Bash over? But you're not allowed to do that legally.
So
That's the hardest part, I think, to get over is hotel rooms for this year. I think after this year, it'll be a lot better. But
Okay.
now you're putting two shows in 1 week. That's what's the problem is with the hotels. I mean, nobody's going to be guaranteed their spot, but I know the Expo Center they shut all the reservations down a couple weeks ago, and they was calling people from Blizzard Bash and rescheduling them to March. So Blizzard Bash was going to get the first come, first serve thing, but when the hotel's full, it's full.
gotcha. So
So we went around to a couple other hotels in Topeka and talked to them about rooms and everything like that. And so some other hotels came on board, where they could get rooms at, it's going to be a tight year, but to get the best show in the United States, it's, we all have to work together.
Sure. It doesn't sound pleasant. Hotels are a mess. I was still in contact with them today. Again, Candace jumped in on that, so I defer to her without question. If Candace is on it, it's going to get solved. Might not be perfect, but it'll at least have an answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tight thing, that's for sure. I mean, plus adding the other classes, that brings in more people,
Sure.
So it's going to be tight for the first year, that's for sure.
You got to bring in the Kansas National Guard and have them build tent city in there, make hotel rooms in the parking lot.
Right. I can't believe I had a lot of people even say move Blizzard Bash to March and move Capital Carnage to November, because all these derby drivers are hunters and everything like that. So who knows what we do, but as of right now, we're going to run Blizzard Bash in March and Capital City Carnage right there together. Then how I have it, I think, figured out, go right back to November, put Blizzard Bash right back in November. So the Blizzard Bash guys will be running actually pretty much twice in 1 year.
Wow.
How crazy is that? It'll give them just enough time from March to November to build the car. I mean, that's just about perfect.
Bookends well.
That's what we say, but the drivers that's building them cars don't say that.
Yeah, I know.
I know. It's going to be a hard thing for everybody. So
you know what though? I mean, unfortunately, it's we're all dealing with a bunch of stuff that we've never dealt with before, and everybody's got to overcome and adapt. And the Derby world will, because that's what they do. I mean, that's what it's about. So I think in the end it's going to work out just fine, and I'm going to smash a lot of cars, and it'll be a great show as usual. And hopefully by March, the country is back to a little bit more normalcy, and we can move on from there. And then by November it'll be back to complete normal,
full steam ahead. So you saved all this money, now having to write a bunch of rental checks and stuff for November. Have you looked at how much money is actually going to be paid out for that weekend in March?
Yeah, I've looked at that a couple times. $2,000.
How much?
I think the payout of Blizzard Bash 2.0 is $142,000.
$142,000.
That's not bad.
Yes.
I remember for the longest time when Syracuse was the richest dirt track race in America, and I paid $100,000.
Yeah. Did you see the plan for Super Dirt Week out?
Yeah.
Or the new?
Yeah, I saw it. So Tim, I mean, a little off subject, but I mean, you didn't have 55 summer derbies this summer. What have you been doing? You got to be pretty bored.
Yeah, I'm pretty bored. I mean, I actually, to kill some time, I went out and got an old old Toyota 4Runner. Been going to the mud pits a while, having fun. Sweet. Doing that,
Cool.
Just to get out of the house. But yeah, the derby season this year has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Especially around Ohio.
Yeah.
At this point, Bash for Cash is back to Memorial Day weekend 2021 and won't happen in 2020, correct?
Exactly. Bash for Cash will be back in 2021, and all the county fairs will be back in 2021. I mean, I went, 40-some dirt shows to, I think I'm going to do 3 this year, maybe 4.
You still have a couple shows in Ohio this year, though, right, Tim, or is it just one more?
What's that?
Do you still have a couple shows left in Ohio this year?
I have September 12th. I have a county fair, in Burton, Ohio. We went and we're going to go do that fair the week after their fair, and then I got a courthouse crash October the 3rd. I kind of put together where, that. Then I got my cleanup show October the 24th. So I got 3 more shows here in Ohio, then I got March.
Yes.
And I thought you were advertising one that was coming up here not too long ago. I saw you share something on the Smash It page.
Was
that... maybe I screwed up a little bit in September. It was Courthouse Crash.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was the date that I couldn't get, and then when I shared the thing, I shared the wrong date.
I got you.
So, but no, Courthouse Crash is October the 3rd. September 12th, I have a show, like I said, in Burton. And then the 24th, I have the Smash It cleanup show at Washington Courthouse Fairgrounds also.
Gotcha.
But then regroup, go back to March, and then regroup again and start all over, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
Derbies is not great anywhere, I don't think, this year, that's for sure. I mean, I think everybody's getting some in and some, you know, to do, and a couple speedways here and there, but speedways are hard to have demolition derbies at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Burlington.
usually not big enough.
Burlington had 170 cars or so. Scott Kiefer just messaging about Burlington. Yeah, Burlington had a pretty solid turnout, and that was this weekend as well. So, I mean, you think about number of cars that went through Morris plus that. I mean, it's not too bad.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, I think Pennsylvania's probably had the most. I mean, they've been pretty busy with derbies. So, yeah, every place else is kind of slowed down. A couple here and there, and that's about it.
It's Pennsylvania is just doing them at a speedway, right? There's
Right.
no fairgrounds, right? Or
Right.
is it a couple fairgrounds also?
Burlington Motorplex and then Roaring Knob Motorplex. I can't remember the name of it for sure, but I think it's something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're both
Yeah.
different.
There's a couple speedways down around here that did a couple, and I looked into some speedways, but our speedways around here are little dirt tracks, and they're just not very big. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Then if it rained, you'd be really in a big mess.
Yes, you would.
Oh yeah, clay gets slippery, real slippery. But yeah, well, it was funny. We went by Unadilla on the way to Morris yesterday. They actually had an event going, but it was funny because it was just the haulers and the motorbikes. There was no.
Usually it's acres of cars.
Yeah. It's usually it's full, but it's again we're all just longing to get back to the normalcy. So hopefully we can get there.
I just wish we could just flip a light switch and be back to normal. That's for sure.
You ain't
I
kidding.
mean, we have to do something with this virus. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's trending in the right direction, which is good. And unfortunately, if you want stuff to, what was it you told me? If you want it fast, it's not going to be. If you want it fast, it's not going to be cheap, and it might not be good. And if you want it good, it's not going to be fast, and it's not going to be cheap. And if you want it,
like that. Something like that.
Kind of the same deal. Well, Tim, man, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that we want to hit on or make sure that we get to and let people know about for what's happening with Smash It?
No, I mean, I think we hit on everything. I mean, God bless everybody out there. Be safe, and we'll see you at the Derby sometime soon.
Well, we sure hope so. We'll look forward to it. And, Tim, we'll be in touch. Appreciate your time. And, of course, we can't forget Candace, all the work that she's doing on this one as well. So big thanks to her helping make all this stuff work out. And we look forward to Blizzard Bash 2.0 at Capital City Carnage. Jesus, it's got as long a name as a NASCAR race now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blizzard Bash 2.0 at Capital City Carnage 2021, March 7 to 9, right?
3 through 7.
No, the 3rd through the 7th.
Oh, 3rd through 7th. I'm sorry.
Yep.
3rd through 7.
So.
Perfect. 3rd through 7.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks a lot,
See you
Tim.
there.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Tim Clark. So I don't know if you've been following along. We touched on Candace there for a minute. We got to get a couple spots in, and then we'll. Burlington is a motorsports park. Started for truck and tractor pulls. Corey Relier tuning in, and I learned something today. I always thought that Burlington had a racetrack there.
Yeah.
So 448 Promotions, Jacob Prusman, he had a show that was scheduled to be at Remsen, and they found out that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to, late notice. Now, he's got a show that they picked up in Webster City, which is about 2 hours away, which adds an extra bunch of time to the drive, and those drivers might not be willing to come. So he and Candace at Domination got together, and he reached out to Candace about the cars that were running with the plate rule. They're willing to work with you at all of the remaining shows.
Cool.
For Domination, and there's another opportunity at R&R Promotions in Inwood. But I thought that was really cool to see a couple promoters out there working together. 448 Jacob, he picked up a win back in the springtime at one of the only derbies that we got to see this year.
Yep.
And then Candace, of course, we've seen her all over the place. So
She picked up a win
she did. She
about a
did.
month ago now.
Yep, we talked a little bit about that, so that was pretty cool. So the next event for 448 Promotions, Webster City, Iowa, September the 6th, they're having trailer races. They're going to start the show with the trailer races. They got the Power Wheels, the Bolt and Chain Compacts, Standard Compacts, 80s old iron stock build, mixed class, limited welds, modified weld, and there's a $200 Mad Dog Award in each class, sponsored by On The Go Lock and Key. Remember we needed lock and key help in Topeka?
I wasn't there that year. That was the first time you guys drove out.
Yes, that was what a story. Again, that's 448 Promotions. Domination's next show is going to be this weekend at Hawarden, Iowa. Full-size street stock paying $1,400 to win. Full-size hobo, front-wheel drive hobo, minivan, youth mower, and Power Wheels also on the schedule there. Facebook, look up 448 Promotions or Domination Motorsports for additional details on that one. Tell you about some of our other friends that you will see on the trail with the 527 Unified Point Series. Smith Metalworks, an all-purpose fabrication shop that has taken the Northeast by storm. Smith Metalworks features more than 40 years of combined metalworking experience. The hallmark of the product line is their pointed and flat front bumpers. You saw one of them on the front of Brian's car this weekend.
You did. It got 2 dents in it. I'm sold.
Is that good?
Yes.
You want it to hold up that way, right?
Yeah.
They got 2 dents in it, not because it didn't get worked.
Yes.
They replicate popular factory releases. If you look at them, you'll know immediately what we're talking about. They can be stuffed or ran hollow. There's also a compact version of the pointed bumper. Other items include the Crown Vic door skins, battery boxes, engine mounting systems, pedals, pedal combos, and shifters. The shop offers all the odds and ends as well. Distributor clamps, welded centers, and the GM floor liners. In-person locations are in Mercer, Uniontown, and Bethlehem. SmithMetalworks.info. Experience and passion, second to none. They also have their own driving school, essentially, for the youth
cool
drivers.
Is that?
It's so awesome. Unified Point Series coming up Labor Day. Will be Hardcore's Labor Day Lockdown in Markleysburg, Pennsylvania. This is all part of the 527 Unified Point Series. You'll probably see Jeffy's Fab Farm up there for that one in Markleysburg at Roaring Knob. Smith Metalworks will be there for sure. September 5th and 6th is Triple D's Prelude to the King in Portland, Indiana. September the 12th is Getting Junk's Huntington County Fair in Roanoke, Indiana. September the 19th is the Keystone Nationals in New Alex, PA. It's hosted by Iron City Promotions. Hardcore's final confrontation is in Dunbar, PA. October 3rd is Smash It's Courthouse Crash, and October 3rd also features Junkett's Gaston Fall Show in Gaston, Indiana. No action this weekend for the 527 Unified Point Series, 527UnifiedSeries.com. John Shipley out in front with 70 points. Don Santel next with 50. Jeremy Riley in third with 40. We talked about the Keystone Nationals. Here is the rundown officially on that one. We're going to be talking with Steve Cioppa in a moment about this very topic. 10,000 to win Super Stocks, 1,500 to win Stock Compact, 700 to win Youth Class. Pit gates at 9, general admission at 2, Derby at 6. All the division winners get the championship belt, and youth winners also going to get a Derby-ready car. 10,000 to win Super Stocks. All of it goes down at New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, September the 19th. That's the Keystone Nationals, online at IronCityPromos.com. We gave you the rundown on Blizzard Bash. We need to update our ticker for that one, and Bash for Cash. We'll start worrying about Bash for Cash and Capital City Carnage next week. Otherwise, I think we covered everything that we need to on that front, and we'll go ahead and get Steve Cioppa here on the line. Man.
Crash Course New Year's Eve.
Whoops, that is not true.
Something you want to tell me?
No. I'm telling you anything. I'm telling you I'm hurting right now. This is...
Yeah, I can tell every time. You guys can't see it, but as Chris is trying to do stuff over there, he'll take a deep breath and stand up and kind of turn a little bit, and definitely not 15 anymore.
Haywarden, Zach Anderson, telling me that I mispronounced the city of Howarden. It is Haywarden. And I knew that. I just didn't pronounce it. Steve, how are you? All right, Steve there. Steve is in. Steve, man, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How's it going?
What's going on, Steve?
Going okay. So, you guys all ready for Keystone Nationals? You're running out of calendar squares.
We are. We're ready. I mean, we're pretty. Other than showing up and setting everything up, I think we're ready to go.
That's awesome. So again, we got caught. This is actually the show, just forwarded by 7 days that we were supposed to have last Monday. We wanted to put all this together and got sidetracked, and there were so many people that we knew ended up winning at Mini Meltdown. The safest thing to do was just to shuffle everything to today. Here we are, August 31st, a little bit removed from the big news that Keystone Nationals has a new home for 2020. What transpired that brought us to the point where the Keystone Nationals is going to be at New Alex, Pennsylvania?
It was pretty much business related, COVID related.
Sure.
New Alexandria is having derbies. They've been having derbies all summer. Really with no issues with anything that regards to COVID or anything like that. So, Todd actually reached out and see if they would be interested, and sure enough, yes, they were interested in it.
So is this sort of the same thing that we've been seeing with various racetracks versus various fairgrounds throughout at least New York and potentially even in Pennsylvania, where the health department and the state legislatures, because county fairgrounds and fairgrounds are subsidized, they can't have any motorized activity or grandstand events, but then independent entities like racetracks and standalone venues like what they have at the Lions Club, they can because they aren't state subsidized?
Pretty much, that's the case. Fairgrounds are pretty much public. Some of them are state funded even, but you really had a better chance of pulling an event off at a privately owned facility compared to a non-privately owned facility.
Gotcha.
So, Steve, what's it going to be like
just
to?
Didn't want the rug pulled out at the last minute. Not saying that it would have been, but it's just a business. It's all business. It's a business move.
Yep, understood.
So, what's it going to be like to write out all those checks from Keystone Nationals instead of taking the checks and cashing them? I mean, it's going to hurt a little bit, ain't it, bud?
Horrible. It's not going to be good. I took, and I won 3 Keystone Nationals, and that track was great. I mean, I thought I won close to $30,000 on that track alone. New Alley, I'm sure I've won close to that too, but that's our track we grew up on. I've been going there since I was 5 years old.
That's crazy.
But I mean,
it's a great track. I mean, you guys have been there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, our first
love that
Demolition
track.
Derby live stream was at New Alex, and one of the most popular ones we ever had was at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds.
Yeah. Yep.
We've been both.
Yeah.
places.
No, I mean the New Alexandria track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our first live stream.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great track.
Yeah. It is. The track itself is just incredible. I mean, it's such a good, it's just a straight derby track. It's a great track, but the facility's good. Everything. I think it's just for this year, I think it's a perfect fit. So hopefully it all works out.
Good deal.
That track, it's got to be, like you said, with the amount of wins that you had at the Keystone Nationals when it was part of the Jefferson County Fair, and then you put that together with the amount of success that you and the family have had at New Alex Lions Club and going there since you were a young kid. It's got to be a weird feeling to be taking over the reins of the Keystone Nationals and now hosting it at the track that you essentially grew up at.
It's definitely a little different. Trust me. I'd rather be in the driver's seat, especially with the star-studded cast that are going to show up for the Keystone Nationals this year. It's going to be great. I mean, I'd love to be mixing it up on the track, but we'll sit by and watch this one unfold. Somebody new can win it this year.
Can you tell me if this is true or not? Because I don't know for sure. I wasn't sure if I should believe this little factoid, but Todd said that he was going to let Mark drive just so you could load him.
Mark Cioppa?
Yeah. Yes. Do you know him?
Yes. No, he's not driving. Mark's not allowed to drive. Mark is not driving. Todd's not driving. I'm not driving. But no, it's going to be a great show. I mean, the super stock rules that we put together are pretty. They're pretty good. There's some hidden little gems in there for the drivers, and they're all finding them. Which the cars are. It's a super stock, but they're still going to be nasty cars. So it's going to be a good show.
No doubt. I've heard locally of some guys from New York that are going down.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have some nice stuff. So.
Oh yeah, the ralliers are coming down. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who all's there. I mean, we've seen some of the great drivers that used to run Keystone, Corey Roman, and then the likes of that. So
yep.
hopefully it's a nice full field and. It continues on. I mean, Chris and I were talking 2 weeks ago, I guess it was the last time we were together, and we were talking about the walls at New Alex and how they're
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of the only track I've seen like that. I mean, they don't tear the car up as bad as like a Blizzard Bash wall, but they keep the cars on the track. So I mean, that's a really neat part of that track as well.
big loader tires that are half buried in the ground, and they got a cable tying them all together across the top. I mean, those have been there since the 70s. I mean, the track is spot on. It's a great track.
Yes. Yeah, good size.
Even
a lot
when
of
it gets
room.
muddy, the track, even if it would rain, the track would still be. It holds up great. I mean, the dirt is just like the most perfect derby dirt.
Yeah. The night we went, it had rained some, but I mean the track was still in good shape. I think it might have rained while we were there.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a glaze on top, but then it
But
ran
it was
right back
a
in.
very good track. Looking forward to it. I actually think the boys and I, and if Chris can ride in a vehicle that long, the boys and I think are going to come down and watch, and it'll be nice. Just I was talking about that today with the Eldridges. I borrowed a tire from them, and so, it's going to be nice to just go to a derby and hang out and watch, and not be driving or not be working at the derby. So I'm really
Kurt
looking forward to it.
really, he's in here hanging out with us tonight. I guess he's sticking around for the whole show, which is cool. He said he has to put an additional lap belt in to run the Nationals.
I don't know. Corey. I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
What did Corey say?
He says he's got to put one more lap belt in if he's going to run the Nationals.
Talking about somebody that sells himself short. He said he's worried about this show. I said, you don't have to worry about anything. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. That's what I told him. From where he grew up running in Owego and Chemung and Whitney Point, he'll be just fine down there.
He'll be just fine.
So,
like I said, it's a super stock build. The cars aren't going to be crazy, but they're going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be the Fords are going to be really tough at some point of the night when the fix-it plates and everything come into play. It's going to be good.
Did you write the rule book for this?
You know what? Mark Elliott, he shared some rules that they had for the Kentucky Derby that year. And then we added some tweaks to it and some different rules here and there. But yeah, I mean, pretty much, between me and Mark Elliott, we put those rules together. Yes.
So it's super stock and name only.
What's that?
I said it's super stock and name only. If you guys put together a set of rules and called it super stock, any place else in the Northeast is like limited weld.
Yeah, but it's not. There's no full protectors. You got a lower cradle, no tranny braces, stuff like that. So the cars are going to bend. I mean, it's going to be a good derby because the Chryslers get a little more, like a shocker and a Y frame, but they get 8 fix-it plates. They get a hump plate. Metric GM gets the tilt, and they get 8 fix-it plates. They get a 30-inch hump plate or 32-inch hump plate. I mean, there's just different rules for different cars, just to give each car its own little advantage. So it's going to be pretty good. The Fords get the tilt, and they get 6 fix-it plates for the feature. I mean, it's going to be a really good show.
But with that rule set out there, coming back on a more serious note, you're allowed a lower cradle, but you don't have a transmission protector. It sounds like that could really wreak some havoc on transmissions, the front half of transmissions as cars start to go.
Not if you know what you're doing. I mean, I ran all year, at hardcore shows and other stock type shows with no transmission brace. I mean, if you ran cars back in the day, you know how to keep a car from breaking a transmission. Don't mount them solid. Well, you're not allowed to mount them solid anyway, so. Bend.
If you were going to build the car for this show, if you were driving instead of promoting, what would you take?
Me, personally, I would probably go with the GM wagon as the first pick. And believe it or not, my second choice would probably be a 9802 Crown Vic.
Good thing you probably got 10 or 12 of both of those sitting behind your shop.
More wagons than Crown Vics I got.
Yeah, I've seen some of those pictures. They grow nice wagons in Pittsburgh. I don't know where they come from for sure, but they got nice wagons in Pittsburgh.
Actually, the Imperials are breeding more than anything right now.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
But that wasn't either your first or second choice.
Well, you can't run them there.
You're not allowed to run them there. No Imperials. No Imperial suicides. And no O3s, just to try to keep it somewhat respectable.
Everybody jumped in. You didn't even let me work that angle. Try to get it turned around, right?
Oh,
yeah, as soon as you start adding all the craziness to the mix and then the protectors, then it starts getting haywire. So I mean, it's a nice, clean set of rules with, every car has its own little advantage. I think it's going to be like one of those fair, even, like car matchup derbies.
And the thing with that
today,
the thing with that track is when you start looking at what the rules are allowing, and you've got a set of rules that's built per car, and you look at the size of that track and the number of cars that are going to be out there, mobility is going to become an issue, and the maneuverability of a Crown Vic is going to have an advantage over some of those longer wheelbase GMs.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. That's what I mean. The track's huge. You know, depending on how many cars ultimately show up for the day. I mean, we have a pretty good stacked lineup. That you know, some people don't show. It just shit happens. But that the heats could be pretty. Not a lot of cars in the heat on that big track, so it's going to be fast-paced, and the Crown Vics will definitely be able to dance around the full-size GMs.
Hey, we got you on. I got to ask. I mean, Joey Pernice, he's kind of had a good Derby season so far. I mean, is he? How are we keeping him under control? Cool. I mean, are we keeping him modest still, or what?
Joey still knows he's not big yet. He's still he's still humble. He's doing. Nice. Joey's having a great year. He beat me on a fluke.
Yeah. When he did that, you were hung up like that. What were you thinking in the car? Because I watched that video, and he probably could have got you loose, but he didn't. I mean, what were you thinking in the car? Like, we're going to go out, If
I lost to anybody like that, I'm just glad it was Joey, because it was. I mean, anybody else I would have been pissed off. But it was just comical that it had to be Joey. I mean, he'd come in just so easy.
Yeah.
And just lifted the front wheel, lifted my back wheels right off the ground, and he sat there, and it was classic. I mean, It was the move of moves. It was great.
And in all seriousness, we're just busting on Joey. Joey's a very humble young man.
Joey's going to be running Keystone. He'll be he's building a car for Keystone, so he'll be in the mix. It's going to be he's building a Crown Vic.
Nice. I heard his car number is going to be 002X.
There was a 002X back in the day. It was my cousin TJ used to run Derbies.
Oh, really?
That was his number, 002X, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, Joey's a great young man. He's grown up with the Cioppas, and he's definitely learned a lot, and he's become a really good wheelman. So he'll be right there. I mean,
Joey's getting good.
He's
that's why I like the youth derby. I mean, these kids. Have you got to see any of the youth derbies in person yet?
Not in person. I've watched a few on tape, but they're doing a nice job as well.
The kids are getting at it. I mean, they're really picking up the pace. I mean, they're fun to watch. I actually drove in one, a few weeks ago at the Hardcore Show with Jack Drenovich, and it was one of the most fun derbies I was in a long time.
Cool.
Just watching him do his thing. It was fun. It was good.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
now,
it's going to be fun watching these kids at Keystone. I mean, they're going to, the Smith Metalworks put the rules together. I mean, it's a great set of rules. And, the kid that wins, he's going to get a championship belt, the money, and then he gets a fully prepped derby car with a red line engine. It's all Smith Metalworks parts and pedals, and, I mean, it's going to be prepped, ready to go, so he can take it to a derby the next weekend if he wants to.
That's awesome.
Or she.
Right.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So, do you have anything else on the driving schedule for this year, or are you done till March now?
No, I'm going to Toast show in September.
Cool.
At the River City Rampage, the old iron class with the Imperials, and so we're looking forward to that.
That's the 25th and 26th, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to do Dead Man down in Maryland.
Cool.
On Halloween
weekend.
And then it's Blizzard Bash all the way on.
Nice.
In March.
In March.
You know what that means? That just means that much more thinking for builders to do on cars before they get there.
I mean,
it's actually a blessing in disguise that it got moved to March. I'm actually glad.
With Blizzard Bash out of the way, so to say, there's still Vegas that's happening in there, I believe, right? They still have a fall show.
I don't know.
I can't remember now because there's been some jumbling, and I don't remember for sure when that is. I thought that was still.
I think there's a Vegas October show, I believe.
Yeah.
That's not the big team show, right? That's the just like a standalone type derby show.
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
So I believe Winter Warzone is still on the schedule for December. Is that something that you guys might consider now?
I heard that was canceled.
Okay, well, there's that.
Wow.
So I truly know nothing after Blizzard.
Yeah, that was definitely on the radar, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that.
Okay.
That was canceled.
it's not a surprise, unfortunately, just the way everything has sort of been working out.
What a horrible year.
It's been tough.
It has been tough. I mean, it's just trying to find derbies to go to, and I mean, it's tough.
Well, it was funny. Steve and I will text back and forth once in a while, and I had texted him during the week, and all of a sudden that weekend I see he's back home running a show at, I can't remember, Burlington or Aurora Knob, one of the shows, and I was like, did you get bored in Florida and have to fly home for a derby? He's like, yeah, it was pretty bad. So it's definitely been rough.
Oh, you got to have the fix, man. It's crazy. I mean, it is. I mean, I like everyone's saying, I just can't wait till this year's over with and get everything back to normal.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Chipping away. We're moving closer and closer to it. That is a Vegas Derby Halloween weekend. We just got Scott Brown to verify that. Yep. So there is one then.
But Keystone, it's going to be good. You guys driving down, it's going to be great seeing you guys. I can't wait to finally get this show off the ground and get it going, because it's going to be a really good show.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. Well, my boys have never been, to a real big show. Zach's went to San Felipe last year with me, but they've never seen, something like this. So they're looking forward to it. There's no football this fall, so we got to have something to look forward to. Yeah,
even that's ridiculous too, isn't it?
Yeah, very. It angered me even more when I watched a high school football game on TV tonight, and there was, they were playing the game and there was fans in the stands, but apparently COVID's different out there.
I saw the same thing.
So, I don't know. I just don't think about it because I can't control it. So,
I hear you.
Okay.
No, it's definitely beyond our control.
But so we'll hopefully Keystone goes off amazingly for you guys, and everybody's happy, and we'll keep growing it.
Yeah, we will. Only time will tell. We'll see how it unfolds, but I think it's going to be a great show, and everybody's going to be happy.
Definitely.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. Keystone Nationals, September the 19th, New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, at the New Alex Lions Club. Outstanding facility. You guys are going to be loving it. The way that track is built with the walls. I'm reminded of Fulton when I went there.
Yeah.
Remember Fulton had the buried Uke tires and always ripped the frames off of the cars. Now it doesn't matter. It keeps everything in. You know.
Yeah, it's nice. And I've said that. From the first time I saw it, I thought
that track is you're literally sitting on top of the track watching the Derby. That's what's nice about it.
Yeah, it's close. There's a bad seat in the house.
Great spectator track too.
Yes.
That would be a great place to launch a Cioppa into the grandstands. Because I hear somebody still owed that, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
I did that. I think it was Todd.
The funny thing is when Todd and Steve and Mark run together, you always pray they get down to the end, because then they're really going to get serious. Because the only thing worse than getting beat by an enemy is getting beat by a friend or a relative. So they get after each other pretty good when they derby. So it's cool to watch those three run together.
I did it to Mark last year. It was a $1,500 to win show. I had the big Baldwin motor in there. I said, I will melt this thing down before I let Mark beat me. And I did. I melted it down.
How awesome is that? And then you guys both got out and laughed.
Are you going to shut that off? Or he kept looking at me like, are you going to shut it off? Like, yeah, no, that's not going to.
But then you both got out and laughed about it.
Oh, yeah. But he couldn't talk shit on me for the next week or two, so that was the best thing.
That's awesome. Family can't beat it.
Now you get to see them all work together on the sidelines this time, right? It'll be just as fun.
And we did. We saw them at the winter or the Florida Nationals. Mm-hmm. Great job. Great job for the crew. So I'm looking forward to seeing them again in Keystone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, man, once again, New Alex Lions Club, New Alexandria, Pennsylvania, the home of the 2020 Keystone Nationals. We look forward to it September the 19th. Online, IronCityPromos.com. Steve, man, we appreciate the support on everything, and you can see all the banners for the Keystone Nationals at the Crash Course Nationals, the virtual Demolition Derby, coming up at the end of September. We're looking forward to that, too. We appreciate the support, as always, and if we don't talk to you beforehand, good luck with everything.
All right, guys, we'll see you at Keystone.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you then.
Yep, thank you.
See you. Bye now. There goes Steve Cioppa wrapping things up there.
Hey, I've been thinking, if you lay down on the floor after the show, I'll walk on your back.
Do not do that. Nope.
You don't think it's straightened out?
No. See, we did this whole thing way back in the day. When I've done that therapy on this twice now, in 1996 or 97, whenever it was. I was a freshman in high school, and then again maybe 4 or 5 years ago where we went to the chiropractor because the lockout was so bad that I was stuck at about 45 degrees. I couldn't get upright. It's like reverse climbing a ladder. I got to put my hands on my legs and push myself upright, and the chiropractor is not the solution for this. By forcing the bones, after the bones were already forced, it doesn't fix things. I know it's hard to believe.
How about if we hang you out the window by your ankles?
That was another topic that I discussed with the doctors. He said a reverse alignment table is nothing that's going to fix what you're trying to do. It is going to put pressure in different ways that when you stand back up, it's a potential that the disc is just going to, as he described it, he said, you've got a disc that's full of Play-Doh, and if you are at risk that if you do anything weird to that, whatever Play-Doh is left in that disc is going to push out one way or another, and you're going to be in real trouble. So you need to not do anything. So if the lawn was mowed when you hurt yourself, it's not going to get mowed again until after it's fixed.
Interesting.
Don't mess with it. So
Sweet.
I picked up the backyard, moved some lawn debris out on, let's see, it must have been Wednesday or Thursday this week, because I was feeling good, and I felt like garbage afterwards. So he was right.
Can you use the laptop in Derby, or does that even bother you?
Sitting up in a straight back chair hurts. It hurts. I was there for Cody Rates. We did a 2-man show, and I ruined the car.
That's always fun.
Which was good. I think I'm pretty sure we made it to the feature. I don't really remember. Things got a little bit of numb and a little bit of relaxed, and I don't really remember what was happening. I just know that I had to make that little fuzzy dot go back and forth for a while.
Oh goodness,
It is what it is. Well, jump online. There's a bunch of people that are sharing information in here where you can find this weekend's Mini Meltdown. Alex Vasco has all of his stuff up from Saturday. Sunday's forthcoming. Trackshot on demand, Trackshot TV. You can find this stuff there. And then there was another location that Duncan Cram had shared, but I had lost it. The conversation's been busy. Nick King's going to be running across all those tires, he says. They knew Alex. Good luck playing hopscotch.
I bet you he ends up in a pile somewhere and trips and falls.
Be careful, please.
Nothing
Run behind
personal,
him.
but he's going to fall.
Yeah, don't. It's not as great an idea as you probably think.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would do that, Nick. But Nick's in there. Corey Rally's been in there all night. Brandon Reimer, Vito, he's been in there. Scott Kiefer, man, it's been busy tonight. It's good. I like that. Good. Hit the like button, share, follow, subscribe, follow along on Facebook as we go each and every Monday, unless something
Chris
intervenes.
Brace is back again.
But I think that's going to do it. We appreciate everybody tuning in and the continued support. Congratulations to all the winners this weekend, and great job everybody playing by the rules and putting on a great show over there at Mini Meltdown for Spinning Wheels. And hopefully everything goes right and San Filippo Smash can go off without a hitch as planned. But that's going to do it for this one. 321 in the books. Once again, appreciate it greatly. We'll see everybody next time. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you then. The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.